We talked a little bit about value last week. We didn't really talk about how it's created. It actually becomes created in the mind of the customer. How it becomes created? It becomes created through messages that customer receives through marketing pleas made by organizations that are producing products designed to satisfy the need, want, or desire of that particular customer. How do we develop the value? The value is developed by looking at the marketplace and determining what the customer or our target customer that we're trying to isolate in the market, what they really want, and to take what they're wanting, their values, beliefs, attitudes expressed as behavior, and create a product in terms of features, attributes, and benefits that connect with those values. And that's how you create not only an initial purchase transaction, but you keep the relationship going. And of course, you have to keep communicating this, and the vehicle or the tool that we use for this is marketing. And you're reading about it now, you're starting to get a feel for how the marketing world is laid out. You know that you have 5 different environments that you've got to deal with at all times when you're dealing with marketing. You've got what? The natural environment, but we really don't involve that much. We have the technological environment that some people call infrastructure. But the things that really do tend to matter in marketing are that governmental, that household, and that for-profit or that economic sector that makes everything work. It's pretty amazing when you look at national income accounting, gross domestic product, and notice that businesses only spend about 11 to 12% of the dollars spent in the economy, and yet they're able to supply all those households and all those governmental entities with all these goods and services that allow this economy to keep going. How do we deliver that value? I've talked about that in terms of the match, but how do we communicate it? And this is what you're about to jump off to in the textbook. You're going to see through the textbook and the exercises now for the remainder of the 5 weeks that we have together, that you're going to start to focus on marketing as if it is really just a communications tool. And in fact, when I see the word marketing, I always see communications. It's just something that I see. It's practice, but it's also exposure. The other thing that I'm going to recommend, it's one thing to read books, but you should be talking about what you're reading with as many people as you can. Maybe not people that don't want to hear about marketing or Kotler or Lotus or anything like that, but people that might be interested in your career. Let them know what you're doing, what you're thinking about as you go through this process. We also have to be communicating our value as a product throughout the process. If I did not have this assignment, I would have to go out and market myself to another entity so I could stand, hopefully with that entity, in a nice TV studio and deliver these sorts of presentations. One thing's for sure, if we don't deliver and communicate that value, we will lose the relationship. We don't just lose the relationship with the customer. As the customer falls away, imagine that you also have a supporter in terms of a shareholder falling away, perhaps a vendor or another sort of creditor, lender falling away. And that's how you really should look at it when you lose a customer. You're losing not only the sale, but you're losing all of the capacity that was put into that sale, and most likely a competitor will have that capacity taken away if that customer does not stay with you. Now, why is that important? It becomes important because next week we're going to talk about positioning, how we actually put that product somewhere in the mind of the customer. At any rate, good luck this week, end of week 3. You're making great progress, I hope. Ring your instructor if you have any questions. Thank you. See you next week.